Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, April the 3rd, and we are here to look at the new releases being set into the wild this week. And on Wednesdays, we look at romances. There are a lot. So we'll jump in. Just some quick announcements. Being Wednesday, there are no sprints tonight. I do them on Tuesday evenings and Thursday evenings. So tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then on Saturday afternoons at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Let us jump in. Hang on a second. I'm trying to close a tab here without closing the whole world. There we go. Begin Again by Helly Acton. Have you ever wanted to change the past and discover the result of choices not taken? Now, in this brilliantly blah blah blah. Despite living firmly in her comfort zone, Frankie Mackenzie feels unsettled. She can't help feeling something's missing. Is it a home to call her own? Travel? A more rewarding job? A relationship? Before she can work it out, she dies. She dies. Okay. The end. In a freak kebab related accident after what she sees as yet another dud of a first date. But life isn't over for Frankie. Instead, she is miraculously offered a second chance. Frankie can revisit key moments from her past to see if different choices will lead her to the fulfilling life she's always dreamt of. Is this a romance? Blah, blah, blah. Will she finally find her Mr. Right? Interesting. I do like those kind of stories. Old Flames and New Fortunes, a Moonville novel by Sarah Hogel. Fibs and squabbles and spells. Oh my. A small magical town tucked away in rural Ohio, Moonville is the perfect place for floral witch Romina Tempest to use the language of flowers to help the hopeful manifest love in their lives. After giving up on her own big romance 11 years ago, at least she can bask in others' happily ever afters. When the shop's potential financier shares news of his wedding, Romina jumps at the opportunity to discuss the business, even if it means she has to fake date her chaotic colleague, Trevor, to get an invitation. But all hell breaks loose when she discovers Trevor's soon to be stepbrother is none other than Alex King, her high school sweetheart, her greatest love, the boy who broke her heart. What starts as an innocent misunderstanding becomes a week-long fake dating scheme as Romina quickly finds out she can't deny her connection with Alex. Caught between her livelihood and her heart, Romina must decide if taking a second chance on first love is worth the risk. Oh, it is, I'm sure. A new one from Abby Jimenez. This is a popular one. Slow burn rom-com. Justin has a curse. And thanks to a Reddit thread, it's now all over the internet. Every woman he dates goes on to find their soulmate the second they break up. When a woman slides into his DMs with the same problem, they come up with a plan. They'll date each other and break up. Their curses will cancel each other's out, and they'll both go on to find the love of their lives. It's a bonkers idea, and it just might work. Emma hadn't planned that her next assignment as a traveling nurse would be in Minnesota, but she and her best friend agree that dating Justin is too good of an opportunity to pass up, especially when they get to rent an adorable cottage on a private island on Lake Minnetonka. It's supposed to be a quick fling just for the summer, but when Emma's toxic mother shows up and Justin has to assume guardianship of his three siblings, they're suddenly navigating a lot more than they expected, including catching real feelings for each other. What if this time fate has actually brought the perfect pair together? That does sound cute. How to plot a payback. Good morning, Mary. Happy Wednesday. Girls are outside holding a business meeting, usually with them. but running late and wanting to sign in. Oh, I appreciate that. I hope you're having a good morning. Started The Alchemist by Coelho, which is a modern day classic. Started it while at the bookstore yesterday. How did that go in the eye appointment? How to Plot a Payback. Melissa Ferguson. He crossed an ocean and it still wasn't enough to escape his lifelong nemesis. Now he has to work with her. Successful screenwriter Finn Masters just landed his dream job writing for Neighbors, one of Hollywood's highest rated, longest running sitcoms. The only downside, it will put him back into proximity of the show's universally adored, optimistic, altruistic star, Lavender Rhodes, who has been inadvertently ruining his life since they were school chums in England. But she doesn't even know she destroyed his acting career and wrecked his relationship with the love of his life. He's not about to let this woman yank another dream out from under his feet. In fact, he realizes he's been given the ideal opportunity to plot his payback, spinning her character in shocking new directions. What could go wrong? Only everything. As Finn's not so brilliant plot backfires one scene after the next, catching him in the blasts, he's forced to think about this impossible, infuriating, and maybe even lovable woman in an entirely new light. The Rulebook by Sarah Adams. College exes break all the rules when they reunite years later in this enemies to lovers. They're not in second chance romance. Nora McKenzie's entire career lies in the hands of famous NFL tight end Derek Pender, who also happens to be her extremely hot college ex boyfriend. Nora didn't end things as gracefully as she could have back then, and now it has come back to haunt her. Derek is her first client as an official full time sports agent, and he's holding a grudge. Derek has set his sights on a little friendly revenge. If Nora McKenzie, the first girl to ever break his heart, wants to be his agent, oh, he'll let her be his agent. The plan is simple: make Nora's life absolutely miserable, because that's for sure. And she'll love you. But if Derek knows anything about the woman he once loved, she won't quit easily. Instead of giving in, Nora starts a scheme of her own. What a great way to base a relationship. But then a wild night in Vegas leads to Nora and Derek in bed the next morning, married. With their rule book out the window, could this new relationship save their careers or spark the romance of a lifetime? Because like communication never works. Duh. Bridesmaid for Hire by Megan Quinn. First in a hoped for series, it looks like. Sometimes the wedding of the century calls for desperate measures, and sometimes those desperate measures are to pretend the person you hate most is actually your boyfriend. After years of working her tail off at her event planning business, Maggie Mitchell is ready for a vacation. With nothing on her mind but R&R, she's enjoying the warm weather of Bora Bora when in saunters Brody McFadden, her boyfriend's best friend and also her sworn enemy. Thanks to years of tension between the two, kicked off by a makeout session at her brother's wedding that ended horribly, Maggie has sworn to stay away from the man. That is, until she finds out he's in Bora Bora for his boss's daughter's wedding, hoping to use the trip to win a real future at the company. Maggie promised herself she wouldn't even think of work on the island, but as word spreads about the wedding of the century taking place in the midst of her vacation, she realizes offering her services as a bridesmaid and planner could bring her business to the next level. The only catch? She needs to pose as Brody's girlfriend to get the job while letting him stay in her peaceful bungalow. Tensions rise, irritation flares, and despite years' worth of bickering behind closed doors, Maggie can't quite squash the sparks building between her and her new fake boyfriend, especially when she learns the real reason their first kiss was cut short. But as the wedding day draws closer and everything starts to go wrong, it just might be Brody who sends Maggie's business crashing down, and her heart along with it. Avenging Angel by Kristen Ashley. first in a series. Rachel Armstrong has a burning need to right the world's wrongs. Thus, she becomes the avenging angel, and maybe she's a bit too cocky about it. While riding a hunch about the identity of a kidnapper, she runs into Julian Cap Jackson, who was trained by the team of Nightingale Investigations in Denver. Now he's a full-fledged member at their newly opened Phoenix branch. It takes excuse me. It takes Cap a beat to realize Ray's the woman for him. It takes Ray a little longer, but just a little, to figure out how she feels about Cap. As Ray introduces Cap to her crazy posse of found family and his new home in the Valley of the Sun, Cap struggles with his protective streak because Ray has no intention to stop doing what she can to save the world. But there's a mysterious entity out there who has discovered what Ray is up to, and they've become very interested. Not to mention, women are going missing in Phoenix, and it seems like the police aren't taking it seriously. Ray believes someone should. So she recruits her best friend, Luna, and between making coffees, mixing cocktails, planning parties, and enduring family interventions along with reunions, the avenging angels unite to ride to the rescue. Other than a pink heel, it's, I don't know, I guess it's a romance. Not Made to Last by J. McLean, Kindle Unlimited. Two simple words hold the truth of our love, wait and hope. Olivia, Reese Garrett, recent high school graduate, ex-captain of the basketball team, and my brother's rival both on and off the court. Oh, and he's also the guy I just hit with my truck. Awesome. To be fair, he had it coming. Why else was he dressed in all black in the middle of the night, if not hiding out amongst the darkness? Reese, I wasn't looking where I was going or what was around me. I didn't even see the headlights, just felt the impact, and I thought, as strange as it was, that getting hit by a car may be the best thing that could have happened to me, until I opened my eyes. And she told me her name. Some might call it fate, destiny, kismet, a collision of souls. One night, one chance encounter. The problem, one night wasn't enough. But the more time we spend together, the more truths come to light, and soon we'll discover that what we once thought to be was meant to be is not made to last. Dot dot. Wildcard, a small town sports rom-com. This is third in the Roseville Ramblers series by Stacey Hart. And that is a totally natural pose he has, clutching his necklace like that with both hands. New glasses, but cataracts haven't changed, so that is good. Oh, good. No or very few new beads for me for a while. Glasses, yeah, they are. Yep, they are. He's also so juvenile, or am I just being snarky? Nope, you are right. But join the snarkiness. Join me. The hot baseball player I'm forced to stay with for my best friend's wedding is off limits. Remy Winfield has more muscles than manners, and he's on a mission to get me into bed by way of the filthiest mouth I've ever wanted to kiss. He doesn't care about my long-time crush or my certainty that we're about to happen. We're finally about to happen. Remy's sure I'll break first and kiss him, and he'll tease me to the limit to make sure I do. I might be a lady, but I can still play his dirty little game. It's perfectly safe, totally harmless, until I fall for him. Suddenly, Mr. Longtime Crush doesn't matter at all, and my best friend can never know. Thoughts, opinions, snarkiness. Jacob, Black Ink by Lisa Marie Rice. You met the powerful and mysterious Jacob Black of Black Ink in the celebrated Women of Midnight series. Now it's time for Jacob to step to the fore in the first installment of a scorching, heart-pounding, all-new series from Lisa Marie Rice Black. Years ago, he abandoned her, shattered her heart. Alexandra Heathering lost her best friend, the boy she loved, at the lowest point in her life. Since then, she's forged a new life for herself as a top-tier scientist at the CDC. Yet her lost love haunts her dreams. Now, 18 years later, she's facing down a worldwide threat that could kill Babylonians. She needs help, expert, fearless, powerful help. He'll never leave her side again. Jacob Black was a decorated soldier, then created a world famous security company. He is powerful and feared, but he has a single weak spot the beautiful, brilliant girl he had to leave behind. Now Alex is in danger, the kind that could get her killed. Not happening, not on his watch. He'll keep her safe at any cost. Dot, 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 dot. I'm in good company, eh? Yes, yes, you are. Love letters on Hazel Lane. After all that angst, this might be just absolutely perfect. A cozy, uplifting, feel good romance with a board game twist to curl up with. Little Board Game Cafe, second in series. Scrabble fan, Jo always seems to pick the wrong guys. Now she's moved to the Yorkshire village of Hebbleswick and decided to give dating one last chance. This time there's a catch. She will only date men whose names would score highly in her beloved word game. Yes, that is a good way to find somebody. After Tarquin, 16 points, proves just as disappointing as the rest, she meets low scoring local doctor Raz, 3 points. Her rules mean she can't date him, but when he asks her to organize a Scrabble festival with him, she can't say no. As the event draws nearer and Jo and Raz grow closer, will Jo ignore her rule and let true love blossom over the triple letter scores? No, she's going to ruin her life over a Scrabble. Yeah. What's the first book? The Little Board Game Cafe. Heh. Oh, Only and Forever by Chloe Leese. Seventh in the Bergman brothers. Good news, they have faces. Look at that. Okay. It's a romance for the books in this tender blah 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 blah. Vigo Bergman, hopeless romantic, is thoroughly weary of waiting for his happily ever after. But between opening a romance bookstore, running a romance book club, coaching kids soccer, and adopting a household of pets, just maybe he's overcommitted himself. Vigo's chaotic life has made finding his forever love seem downright improbable. Enter Tallulah Clark, chilly cynic with a massive case of writer's block. Tallulah needs to help with her thriller's romantic subplot. Vigo needs another pair of hands to keep his store afloat. So they agree to swap skills and cohabitate for convenience, his romance expertise to revive her book, her organizational prowess to salvage his store. They hardly get along and they couldn't be more different, but who says roommate coworkers need to be friends? As they share a home and life, Tallulah and Vigo discover a connection that challenges everything they believe about love and reveals the plot twist they never saw coming. Happily Ever After is here already, right under their roof. And that's seventh in series. Sandcastle Inn, small town, beach contemporary, clean romance set in the Pacific Northwest by Irene Hannon, 10th in the A Hope Harbor series. Vienna Price never intended to return for more than a passing visit to Oregon and all the bad memories she's left behind. When your career tanks, home is where you go to nurse your wounds and chart a new course. Only temporarily, of course, because as much as she loves her quirky mom, anything more than a short stay would drive them both crazy. A trip to Oregon isn't in Matt Quinn's plans either until a perfectly timed appeal for help arrives from his sister. What better place to decompress after a shattering loss than a quiet seaside town named Hope Harbor? But R&R isn't on the agenda when he arrives to find his sister's new enterprise on life support. Vienna, however, may have just the skills needed to resuscitate the foundering B&B if Matt can convince her to hang around long enough to mend an inn and maybe his heart. I think that's a neat cover. I don't know. I would have to be in a mood, I think, but I'm not rejecting it. And these days, I guess that's a plus. Summer's Sweet Spot, Love in Brighton Village by Sylvie Kurtz. This is third in the series. A food truck, a baking contest, a future on the line. Single mom and bakery owner Maeve Carpenter wants to create a safe and secure childhood for her 9-year-old daughter. She's grateful for all her mom's help, but yearns for a place of her own and a measure of privacy. What happened to the independent girl who once intended to bake in Paris? Even though her bakery is profitable, bills are stacking up like puff pastry layers from her daughter's recent health issues and the fees for the upcoming summer camp that means so much to the little girl. The situation isn't helped when a food truck and its handsome owner take up residence outside her shop. You can move them, captivating her clientele with its novelty. With profits falling like a bad souffle, she'll have to enter the Strawberry Festival Sweet Spot baking contest with its large cash prize that will secure her future. All she has to do is bake her heart out without losing her temper at the competition, or her deadbeat ex, or her mother, or falling for the food truck owner's sweet talk. The last thing she needs is another guy who can't stick around. Can she find the sweet spot in all her relationships and create the family life she dreams of? I bet yes. But you have to read it. The Lady He Lost, The Lucky Ladies of London, Book 1 by Faye Delacour. Her only interest is in making her own way in the world. Luckily, he can help. Lieutenant Eli Williams was supposed to be dead. In the 2 years since his shipwreck, his friends and family mourned him. His brother spent his savings, and his fiancée married someone else. So when he turns up in the middle of the London social season, he quickly becomes the talk of the town. All Eli wants is to set his life back in order and reconnect with Jane Bishop, a friend who was always meant so much more to him before returning to sea. Jane refuses to waste any more of her life pining over Eli and chose her cousin instead of her. She needs to focus on gaining her financial independence by establishing a ladies' gambling club. Never mind that Eli keeps trying to atone for his past mistake by bringing in new members. He's obviously keeping secrets about his disappearance, which means that she can't trust him with her heart, even if she did kiss in a moment of weakness, or three, etc., etc. There are two more. We'll just do a quick three more. We'll just do quick little scans here. The Orchids of Ashthorne Hall, Proper Romance Victorian by Rebecca Anderson, 1887, The Cornwall Coast. Well, that sounds very cool. For years, rumors have flown through the village of Suttonbury about Ashthorne Hall, that its occupants hoard pirate treasure, that a ghost walks its halls, but botanist Hyacinth Bell only cares about the estate's extensive, one-of-a-kind orchid collection. As an independent woman, she's eager to focus on her career, even if it means waiting to pursue a romantic relationship. After all, love, like an orchid, must be nurtured and tended before it can bloom. What she doesn't expect is to be swept away by Lucas Harding, the manor's caretaker, upon their first meeting. He's handsome and charming, and the connection between the two is nearly instantaneous. Hyacinth is certain this autumn will be the season that everything good in her life takes root. But I'm sure complications ensue. Wedding Issues by L. Evans. Competition for a Southern Bridal magazine cover unleashes mayhem, forcing a mastermind maid of honor to stop being a people pleaser and start figuring out what she wants out of life. A hilarious, smart coming of age story. And The Wallflowers Midnight Waltz, a romantic opposites attract mystery and suspense family saga Regency romance. Fifth of 53. How do they know that? 112 pages by Colette Cameron. Okay. And Kyo gave a very deep sigh, as did we all. Yeah, maybe a couple things to check out. That's a maybe since it is London and like the cover of the orchid one. Yeah, me too. And they gave away the whole story in the subtitle. They do that with all of them. It's like with all these tags or tropes, it's like, why read it? They've told it and changed the names. Yes. Yes, Mary, we are snarky today. Snarkies unite. All righty. Thank you guys so much. That was the romances this week, as best as I can find them. Um, there are no sprints tonight. It is Wednesday night. I don't do them on Wednesdays, but our next ones are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. They'll go for 2.5 hours. And then we do another sprint in the week on Saturday afternoons at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern, and they go for 5 hours. Tomorrow's morning show will be fantasy and science fiction, as best as we can find. Thank you guys very much. I hope you have a very good Wednesday. Take care of yourselves, read good books, and as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.